What's going on, y'all? This is WWE superstar Kofi Kingston, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Daniel Bryan, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Rob Van Dam. You're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Aw, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. We are here every Saturday night talking professional wrestling with you. And we are 3 weeks away from WWE Wrestlemania. Fastlane went down this past Sunday. If you want to see our show, the recap of WWE Fastlane, Johnny North and I were live on YouTube on the official Ringside Report Wrestling Uncensored YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, with the .net spelled out D-O-T-N-E-T. AJ was there as well from Ringside Report Radio. It was a three-man crew on Sunday night after Fastlane. We were live on YouTube talking to you, taking questions, and recapping WWE Fastlane that went down. Johnny was there. AJ was there. He had a good time enjoying Fastlane, and you can watch that show right now on our channel. More info at ringsidereport.net, wrestlinguncensored.net. But we're moving forward, right? Because we have WrestleMania here in 3 weeks, and we have 7 matches already official for that card. Because Raw and Smackdown this week, very eventful. We had a new Intercontinental Champion, Bobby Lashley, taking the belt back. Kurt Angle and Triple H have their matches now official. Kurt Angle's going to wrestle somebody in his retirement match. Triple H, the game. He's going to wrestle Batista in a no-holds-barred match. Shane McMahon is going to wrestle The Miz one-on-one. AJ Styles is going to wrestle Randy Orton. All these matches made official this week. And, of course, the main event for the Raw Women's title, Ronda Rousey defending against Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, that one made official this past Sunday at Fastlane.
Plus, Brock Lesnar is going to be back on Raw this week.
Ooh, wow. We actually get to see the champion, the Universal Champion, is going to show up. He's going to show his face, the Beast. I'm surprised. I'm surprised he's showing up. I mean, 3 weeks before Mania, what does he need to be on the show for?
Well,
I'm joking. He should be on the show every week. He's the champion. He should be on way more often. It's like, wow, Brock has graced us with his presence yet again. We should be so grateful.
We should be, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's really the attitude. Yeah, that's how they treat it.
I liked it this week, though, how they brought back his old tag team partner, Shelton Benjamin. How he came in and worked a match against Seth Rollins and kind of took him to Suplex City a little bit. I mean, not like Brock could do it, but I thought it was very interesting. Even though Shelton's on SmackDown, it seems at this point, it doesn't really matter what show you're on.
Yeah, it was weird because Shelton is on SmackDown, but barely on SmackDown, right? You never see him on the show. All of a sudden, he's on Monday Night Raw representing Brock Lesnar, and they kind of explained it, but didn't really explain why he's there as a representative of Brock Lesnar. If you know, like we do, you know, that's good, but they didn't really do a great job of explaining that Shelton Benjamin has a history with Brock, that he was one of his teammates and coaches at the University of Minnesota when they were wrestling together, and he was one of the major factors in bringing Brock in and helping the WWE recruit Brock for a pro wrestling career. So Shelton has been there every step of the way for Brock Lesnar, and they didn't really tell that story. They were just like, okay, Seth Rollins is talking. Here comes Paul Heyman, puts Brock over as he always does. Seth says, you know, well, Brock almost lost to Bryan and AJ and Finn, and they're kind of like me, but I'm a better version, so I'm gonna beat Brock. And Seth is like, you know, I'm similar style to those guys. And Heyman's like, yeah. Watch this Brock Lesnar video package. And they showed a Brock Lesnar video package. And then Heyman talks more about Lesnar and how great he is. And then he's like, Brock's the best. And Shelton Benjamin just attacks Seth. You know, Heyman didn't introduce him. Shelton just kind of attacked him from behind and leaves him laying. And then when we come back from commercial, there's a match somehow. Like, it wasn't very well explained. I get it. I get what they were trying to do, but I don't think they told that story very well.
Well, apparently Heyman did a promo when Raw was at commercial. He did a promo for the live audience, and they aired it on YouTube because, like you, it didn't seem to make much sense, so they helped it to make sense. But watching it live, yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense. But if you're in the know, you understand.
Yeah, so I get it, and I appreciated what they were trying to do, but I feel like a lot of people might not know those associations. So either way, it worked out. They had a little match. It was okay. Seth winds up beating Shelton after the stomp.
And that's what he needs to do, just keep building momentum and make you somewhat believe Seth can beat Brock. I think he more than likely is going to beat Brock, because do you really need Brock as champion? Even if he is going to keep wrestling all the way to Saudi Arabia, I don't think you really need Brock as champion going into that. That could be a rematch or hopefully a new match for Brock.
That's a tough one. I don't know what they're going to do. I could see them keeping the title around Brock just for the shock factor, because everybody expects Seth to win. Because, again, there's talk of Brock going to the UFC. Dana White is saying that Brock is going to get the title shot against Daniel Cormier. And Dana White, for a time, was off that train. Like, he wasn't sure. Like, Daniel Cormier had a fight against Stipe Miocic, right?
Right.
Brock Lesnar showed up. This was like last summer.
Pushed him, yeah.
Brock pushed him, right? And the plan was then to get Brock in the octagon pretty soon and have a fight with DC. But Brock still had a suspension, so he had to wait 6 months. And in that time of serving the suspension and being drug tested, well, the WWE made him a really good offer.
Things happened.
Roman Reigns fell out. He got leukemia again. He's back, thankfully, and we're going to get to Roman in a bit. But WWE needed Brock way more than they did, so they made him a big offer. And then all of a sudden, Dana White says, I don't know what his deal is with WWE. We might be going in other directions with DC.
Because you had John Jones come back, too, so...
John Jones came back. They decided to put DC in a fight with Derek Lewis for some reason. Right? Remember that one?
Yeah.
So, the UFC had stopped talking about Brock Lesnar for a time. But now they're talking about him again. Which means he's going to fight.
It's good.
I think he probably fights 4th of July weekend. That's usually when they do a really big thing. It's called International Fight Week. They do a couple of cards that week. They have a big fan expo. And they have a super card for the main event. So, I think Brock and Daniel Cormier for the heavyweight title is probably going to take place this summer, which means Brock Lesnar could be around. I think could drop the title even in May in Saudi Arabia. He may not lose here at WrestleMania. He might. And I do expect him to lose the title before going back to the UFC. But I don't know if it happens at Mania. And I don't know if Seth is the guy to take it from him. It could still be Roman. They could do a triple threat in Saudi Arabia and put the title on Roman without Brock still taking a pinfall.
They could, but you can still have Seth as champion, still just make it a triple threat. I just think it's WrestleMania. It's time to start things new, and I think going with the whole Seth Rollins as a face, as the champion, that's something new that you can start right there and get on that bandwagon.
But is it?
I don't think you want to see that happen, but I think they're more than likely going to go down that route.
I think there are clearly better baby faces in the company. I think there are better options than Seth Rollins. He's over, but he's not as over as Kofi. He's not as entertaining as Kofi for me. Personally, I prefer Kofi Kingston. AJ Styles is very over as a babyface. I think he's more over than Seth is. I think the crowd responds to other guys more than they do to Seth Rollins. I think Roman Reigns is a much bigger babyface right now than Seth Rollins is.
Well,
I'd give Roman the belt. That's me saying that. I'd put it on Roman. It's his. He never lost it.
They'll go down that route eventually. You know that. It's just right now.
Came back from leukemia in 3 months. This guy's a warrior. Give him the belt.
Well, he's getting Drew McIntyre. That's what he's getting. He's not getting a title.
Sure, and they've built up Drew McIntyre very nicely for Roman Reigns to beat him at WrestleMania. You know that's happening. If that is the match for Roman, which, like, honestly, it should be Drew and Baron and maybe Elias 3-on-1 against Roman, and Roman should still go over.
I question if Roman would actually go over Drew McIntyre, because this is the opportunity to really make Drew McIntyre into something, give him something.
Come on.
Roman's won championships at WrestleMania. He doesn't really need to win. He's won main events at WrestleMania.
He never got his run. He's never had a big run as champion. This was supposed to be his time. And now he's back, so it's still his time.
Things change, though, right?
Do they, though? Isn't it still Roman's company? I think it is.
Still a factor without question, but I feel like going to WrestleMania, they told a different story. They were able to put him in, which is great.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the main focus. Maybe things will change after WrestleMania, which I'm thinking they're trying to focus him more into the title picture. But things are going to change because who knows who's going to be on what show, right?
Well, that's another thing. The draft is going to happen after Mania, so they could shake things up in a major way. They could do whatever they want.
I feel...
And as an aside, I think putting the draft a week after Mania is a really bad idea.
Why?
Because you know that all their focus, all their thinking is on Mania. They're going to have a week to come up with a way to reshape their entire roster. It's going to be so bad and sloppily put together. It's going to be a mess. I feel for whoever is working for Vince McMahon who has to come up with the roster shakeup, because it's going to be just like they're not going to put enough focus on the moves that they need to make. I think the brands are going to wind up looking very similar to what they are. I don't think there's going to be a lot of change. I don't think Raw is going to look very different, unfortunately.
Well, Raw always has to look really different. It's SmackDown that has to change, really, when you think about it, because it doesn't have many people on the roster. Raw is so vast. I mean, you can't change. You can't make a change without changing Raw. It's SmackDown where it's like, well, there's certain guys that kind of run the show pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they change, like, who's going to run SmackDown? That's why I feel Seth Rollins could easily go to SmackDown. You keep him and Roman away from each other, and then Roman Seth at WrestleMania next year.
I guess you could do that, but it's not for me.
A lot of it's not for you right now. I'm just saying it seems like what they could do.
Yeah. A lot of it is. Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan are doing some extremely good work. The story is great. Kofi Kingston's promo this week on Raw brought me to tears. I mean, this guy, I was choked up watching this guy talk. This guy was so emotional. The stuff that he was saying to Vince McMahon, you felt was really from Kofi Kingston, the man, the real guy, whatever his name is. What's his name?
Hey, you interviewed him. You should know.
Kofi Kingston. You know, Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston. Oh, man. Kofi Nahaje Sarkodie Mensah. Kofi Mensah. Let's call him. Let's just say Kofi. His name's Kofi. His real name. That's a long name. Kofi is an extremely good wrestler. And he is on the run of his life. And he talked about the 11 years that he's worked for the WWE and how Vince McMahon has never seen him as one of those guys that should be at the top of the roster. And even Vince saying it to him, to his face, felt real. That whole promo felt very real. Vince McMahon, when he was like, one day you're going to be in the Hall of Fame, but you won't be going in alone, pal. You'll be in with the New Day. Because you don't deserve to go in by yourself. You're a great wrestler, but you're just not championship material.
Here we go.
And he also said, which was a good line, Daniel Bryan, he was right. I was talking to Daniel Bryan earlier tonight, and he said, you're good, but you're just a good B-plus player. Which is what they said about Daniel Bryan, of course, until he became the main event. And Kofi Kingston should become the main event. And he's becoming the main event. And when Kofi started saying, talking about how he's never been trick-or-treating with his son, how his son lost his first tooth a couple weeks ago and he wasn't there to see his face, I was sad, man. I'm getting emotional just talking about it. That is hard to deal with. As a father, I understand that pain that he must feel missing those moments with your child. And when he was talking about that, that is hard to deal with. And these guys and women as well, a lot of mothers on the roster these days.
Yeah.
They sacrifice so much not being there with their kids. That's why I say Daniel Bryan should only work TV. Daniel Bryan's first priority should be being there as much as possible for his kid. I get that. That makes sense. Daniel Bryan doesn't need to work all the shows. For his body and for his mental health and for his kids and for his family, right? But Kofi has to because he's not in the position of a Daniel Bryan. But for him to get there, this is what it's going to take. And this WrestleMania and this whole WrestleMania season is about getting Kofi to that next level where he can really make that money, where he can, he can get his own bus. He can do, and that's where he belongs. Kofi belongs on that upper echelon of superstars. He's never been chosen to be that guy. And at one point, he wasn't destined to be that guy. But that promo, his work over the past, 3, 4, 5 years, he has proven himself as a top-level player. They say you deserve it. Kofi deserves it. A lot of guys don't earn what they get. Kofi has earned every single thing along the way. And you see the passion with Woods and E because they are right there with him. They get it. And we've been talking about it on this show for years now. And for it to finally culminate in that promo this week on SmackDown, it was beautiful to watch. That's why I love pro wrestling. For moments like that. For Kofi, for guys like him that, you're entertained by them so much and then eventually they finally get that spot. They grab the brass ring and they get there. That's my favorite thing in wrestling. When Daniel Bryan got there, when CM Punk got there, Kofi Kingston is getting to that space, and it's the best. It's so good to watch. I'm so happy for him.
Well, it's the ultimate underdog story in a sense, which is being played out. It's a shame.
Is it, though? Or is it not the way the WWE has always worked? Bret Hart wasn't supposed to be the guy. He wasn't chosen. He worked his way through a tag team, through the Intercontinental title. He busted his ass to be the best thing on the card to the point where he became a top-level main eventer, WWF champion, and a legend. Shawn Michaels, exact same story. Steve Austin, exact same story. That's how real professional wrestling legends operate. That's how you become a legend. Kofi Kingston is following the path of those guys. Legends.
Right, but it's not a storyline you always see. It's just a storyline that we're getting right now. Batista, it was more of like, oh, I'm sick of you, Triple H. I want to be the guy. John Cena, it's like, well, it's my time. It's not always like as interesting, but Kofi got it.
Yeah, but when those guys get it, Cena and Batista, I mean, they got it without earning it like Kofi and Bret Hart and Steve Austin earned it. The years of jobbing and mid-carding and, that doesn't happen to guys like Cena or Roman or Seth or Batista. It happened to Triple H. Triple H had to be the second to Shawn Michaels. He had to take the losses. He had to, Triple H knows. He had to suffer through garbage gimmicks and getting punished. I mean, right? Everybody knows the story of the
curtain call.
The curtain call. When Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, Razor and Diesel were leaving the WWE and they were going to WCW. Shawn Michaels and Razor and Diesel and Triple H, they all had a hug and they saluted the fans and let them know that this was the last time they'd be seen together, even though some of them were heels, some of them were baby faces at the time. They weren't supposed to be friends. And Vince told Triple H, well, I can't punish Nash and Hall because they're gone. I can't punish Shawn because he's my world champion, so I'm going to punish you. And you're going to eat garbage for, that's not exactly what he said, but, you're going to deal with it for a while, a year or so. And, Triple H had to lose to the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania in like 7 seconds, right?
It's all right.
It was punishment. It's not bad. I'd lose to Warrior in 2 seconds. I'm not worried. But, for Triple H at the time, a guy on the come-up, it sucked. He was supposed to win the King of the Ring. He didn't.
He won it later.
Yeah, but they gave it to Austin instead. What I'm saying is he had to deal with things like, maybe not like Kofi, but, a guy like Triple H has suffered through it, not like John Cena. I mean, Cena, as soon as he was on the main roster, his first night, he's got a pretty good spot with Kurt Angle, and he was destined for greatness pretty early on. Randy Orton. A lot of these guys are hand-picked by the WWE.
Okay, but Kofi had to go through...
Not saying they don't all have their struggles, but some struggle more than others.
Well, Kofi had to struggle because that whole thing with Randy Orton that happened, when he called him, like, stupid because he got up too quick for the RKO. Like, he had to deal with that because, like, he was going towards a main event title shot, but after that, he was pretty much always mid-card for years.
Your boy Randy Orton. Your favorite, John.
Well, Randy is pretty fantastic, but in that moment, maybe not so much for Kofi. It's too bad.
Probably kept him down for several years.
Probably did.
Thanks, Randy.
But now Kofi is finally getting this shot. If anything, this almost feels like this should be the main event of WrestleMania because this seems, to me, the most intriguing story.
I like that when Shane McMahon was cutting his promo talking about why he beat up The Miz because he's tired of people, riding his coattails and this and that, the fans were chanting for Kofi.
Well, that's what they care about. Yeah, of course.
Like they were chanting for Becky a few weeks ago.
Well, it feels like Kofi kind of took things over almost in a sense.
It's funny, they're not chanting for The Miz. Shane saying all these bad things about The Miz. They're not like, Miz, go get him. They're like, Kofi, we don't even care about the storyline. We want to see Kofi. Give us Kofi.
Well, Miz is a terrible face. Like, it's hard to care for him whatsoever.
Yeah. Shane's a good heel, though.
Shane's a great heel. It's just he has a terrible face, so it's like it's hard to hate Shane.
Yeah. I like heel Shane. I like heel Shane more than babyface Shane. But Kofi's not done because Kofi has to wrestle on SmackDown in a gauntlet match against Randy Orton, Cesaro, Sheamus, Samoa Joe, and Rowan. And I guess not Daniel Bryan. It was unclear at the end of SmackDown because Vince is like, you have to wrestle a gauntlet match. And if you win, you're going to WrestleMania. He didn't say he gets the title shot at WrestleMania. He just said he's going to WrestleMania. So,
right. I know. He could be screwing him over again.
Vince might be screwing him over again. But we all expect Kofi to face Daniel Bryan in WrestleMania for the WWE title, right? It has to be leading to that.
Yeah, I think so. I feel that maybe it shouldn't be the main event because I also feel Kofi more than likely isn't going to win. I know a lot of people think Kofi should win. I'm not going to disagree with that. I just feel like we've been here before. Triple H, Booker T. A lot of people thought that should have happened. But Booker didn't win.
I don't know if Kofi should win either. I might have to agree with you here. But so Daniel Bryan came out, but Daniel Bryan's not part of the match?
Whoa.
And it was really weird, right? Because
you said should. Like, there's a difference between should and what will happen. Like, it's not that Kofi shouldn't win. It's just that he's not going to win. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, I'm
difference. Like,
okay, I'm a Daniel Bryan guy. You know,
I understand.
I love Kofi,
of course.
but I'm a Daniel Bryan guy. So Randy Orton, The Bar, Joe, and Rowan all show up. Rowan, Joe, and The Bar jump in the ring and start beating up on Kofi, and then the New Day fights them off.
All right.
Daniel Bryan never got in the ring. He just kind of stood outside watching it all. Why didn't Randy get in the ring?
Oh, he's kind of lazy, Randy. Like, I'm not surprised by that. Are you surprised by that? Like,
it's just another example of lazy Randy. Like, what? It's like, okay, they're all doing a run-in. Randy's not there. Like, Randy was on the stage. They all come out on the stage.
Right.
And then Rowan, Joe, and The Bar, they run in to beat up on Kofi and the New Day. And then Randy just wasn't there anymore. Randy had just stood there on the stage for a second and I guess went backstage.
Yeah, that's it. You know, easy payday. That's it. That's what Randy wants.
Because if Randy goes out there, I mean, New Day couldn't go over, right? I mean, Randy, he'd have to put everybody out with the RKO.
I can almost promise you that I feel like in the gauntlet, like AJ's going to cost Randy the gauntlet. Like Kofi's not going to win clean.
I think Kofi will win the gauntlet match.
But not clean, though. Like, AJ's totally going to interfere and cost Randy.
I think Randy will be the last guy. Because of a lot of the stuff that you have said about Kofi and Randy, they do have that history. It would make sense for Kofi to get through everybody, and then, oh man, now you have to face Randy.
Come full circle in a sense, yeah.
Yeah, you can beat Rowan, you could beat Joe, you could beat Cesaro and Sheamus. But then,
crazy.
Yeah, that'd be tough. You know, maybe with some help from the New Day. It's a lot. But then beating Randy, maybe, yeah, I could see AJ coming out, helping Kofi. And then maybe Vince does give Kofi the match. I don't know.
Well, I could see another screw over of some kind, but in the end, we're getting that one-on-one match. And to a lot of people, I understand how they think it should be the main event, but you don't want a sad ending. And I think, I'm hoping anyways, with the Becky one, I feel Seth, you're going to get a happy ending. I would hope with the Becky match, you'll get a happy ending.
I think she's most likely to win. That's what the fans want. I think Becky, end of WrestleMania, standing tall, makes sense.
Well, it also made sense Roman last year, right? But that didn't happen. So that's the fun part about
WrestleMania ended last year with everybody like, what? And Brock Lesnar walking out still champion.
Throwing the title at Vince in his face.
Threw the title after the show. That was a weird one.
People chanting boring at the end of WrestleMania.
It was not a good match.
I don't think this year that you'll get that, though.
I think the match will be excellent. Becky, Ronda, Charlotte, triple threat. Ronda cut another excellent promo. Great promo on Raw this week. We're going to get to that when we come back. Ronda, Becky, Charlotte. And I also want to explain a little bit why I think Daniel Bryan should beat Kofi, even though Kofi is excellent. We will discuss it. WrestleMania 35 in 3 weeks' time in New York. It's Wrestling Uncensored here on TSN 690.
You're listening to the Ringside Report with AJ Styles, the phenomenal one.
This is Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Bret the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
All right, welcome back. It's Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. We're here on TSN 690 every Saturday night talking professional wrestling. WrestleMania is in 3 weeks. You know, we're always talking about the next show. You know, Fastlane, Elimination Chamber, SummerSlam. But now, we're down to it. The next big wrestling show from the WWE is WrestleMania. It's exciting, even though I'm not that excited about the card. I know that WrestleMania is still a spectacle. It's still a big deal. I'm a wrestling fan. I love the WWE. I've grown up on WrestleMania. When it shows up, it's like, yeah, let's do it. WrestleMania, right? I mean, we're going to have a big party. It's going to be fun. No matter what, like, even if the card isn't great, we have a party, we have fun, we watch WrestleMania, we do a post show on YouTube, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net.
There's just so much in WrestleMania now. It's hard for it to be all bad. If anything, it's just way too long because there's like 14 matches. It's just way too much.
Yeah.
And it's like not all of it can be good because it's just some of it's just so much better than all the rest. I feel like the last 2 years has been like this. Like Ronda last year, like blew it away, and then everything else not that great. When the Hardys came back, blew it away, and then everything else was crap.
Yeah, well, you have that one moment, right?
Well, you want several good moments, right? And they hype that, but really it's just one or two moments that stand out, I find, for WrestleMania. And so far, just the Kurt Angle thing, right? And maybe, I guess, one of the title matches, if you get a good ending. That's all it seems like. The undercard, from what it seems like it could possibly be, not very exciting.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like your average WWE pay-per-view that they're just overbooking.
We need like a multi-man ladder match, something to get some excitement.
Well, that Intercontinental Championship just been given back to Bobby Lashley. He's the new champion, beat Finn Balor this week on Raw. What's the story there?
I'm guessing, well, I had figured it was going to be Finn and Bobby just in a bunch of rematches going all the way to WrestleMania. I just feel like it's going to be like that as well. Why would that be a multi-man?
So just Finn and Bobby again?
Unfortunately.
Well, okay. How about the other mid-card title, the U.S. title? Samoa Joe has that, right?
That could be interesting because he has like defended in a multi-man, right? At Fastlane, he was in a four-way, so maybe again another multi-man. I wouldn't be opposed to that whatsoever. Will they even have it, though? Because sometimes the U.S. title's ignored.
Yeah, but it's Samoa Joe. You want to see him at WrestleMania.
And this would be his first WrestleMania. He's never wrestled at WrestleMania.
Wow. And we're 3 weeks away, and it's not really clear what his path is, which is unfortunate. I'd like him to wrestle Kevin Owens one-on-one.
That'd be fantastic.
For the U.S. title.
I love that, yeah.
I mean, what's Owens doing? He wrestled Daniel Bryan and Rowan on SmackDown, teaming with Mustafa Ali, and they lost. Rowan hit Mustafa with his head grip chokeslam gimmick for the win.
Yeah, Kevin's really not doing much, unfortunately. I mean, he's in the scene, but he doesn't have a match going into the big show. It just looks like the Battle Royal for him, right?
It's like I was saying last week. That Fastlane match was just a filler for WrestleMania. He really isn't in that title picture. And it's unfortunate because he's been gone for so long. You would hope that they would bring him back with more fanfare, more hype, and more of an idea of what to do with him. But right now, it seems like 3 weeks away from WrestleMania, you just brought this guy back. He's an extraordinary talent. And, you know, it's just not his year, and they've got nothing for him. That's kind of the attitude. It's disappointing. I'd like him to wrestle Samoa Joe. I think that would save it. Him and Joe one-on-one for the U.S. title, people would be excited about that. That's a really good match.
It would be really good, but you're also leaving out guys like Rey Mysterio, Andrade. They're also really good. They don't have a spot in WrestleMania. You got to put them in somewhere.
Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
That's kind of a shame, but yeah, it's unfortunate.
You got to put somebody in that Battle Royal.
Well, you could fill that up quite easily. I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah, but why not make it good with some good people in it, you know? I mean, make it a little bit longer. Have fewer matches on the card. Make the Battle Royal more of a big deal. Don't just make it like a 15-minute pre-show match. Make it 40 minutes and put some good wrestlers in it.
It's tough to make it really good because you have two Battle Royals, right? Because the women also have a Battle Royal.
Do they? Yeah, they do. That was new last year, right? They're going to do that again.
100%.
Wow. Yeah, it's tough then to do two long Battle Royals. You can't really do that.
I would love it if they put Asuka. Like,
it's not the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, right? It's WrestleMania.
Yeah, but if Asuka defended the title in the Battle Royal, that'd be the best use, I think, of her championship. Because if you look at the competitors on SmackDown, it's awful. Terrible. Like, all the best wrestlers are on Raw.
Well, Charlotte and Becky are actually SmackDown wrestlers, but...
Well, really Raw, but whatever, yeah.
Yeah. You know, the best wrestlers are actually on SmackDown, but they just appear on Raw.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Asuka's excellent, but, you know, she got through Mandy Rose. She got through Sonya Deville on SmackDown this week, did she not?
That ending, like, man, they don't understand the whole trip over, like, the ring apron tarp thing. They don't get, like, twice. They couldn't figure it out how to do it right.
Yeah, Mandy, pulled the ring apron.
Barely.
Yeah, but it was very obvious, and then Sonya tripped, and then...
Well, more like fell down just off nothing.
Yeah, it did not look right. And I guess the rumor is Lacey Evans, who's that lady that's been just kind of walking out in the old-timey clothes. I don't get it. I don't get that gimmick. It's weird.
Well,
it's really weird.
She put her fan in front of Renee's face. That's her new thing now, I guess.
Okay.
Is doing that, yeah.
Yeah, she's like a Southern lady from the 1920s. I don't even understand. She have a time machine or something? What's going on? What is that? Where do they think that's a gimmick for 2019? What are they thinking? The Lacey Evans gimmick is terrible. It's ridiculous. And they want to push her like crazy. She might beat Asuka at WrestleMania in her debut match. Like, oh God, it's crazy sometimes what they think is a good idea. I see that, I'm like, what is that? Does that exist? No one is like that. That's not a person.
Well, apparently they might hide it, though, by putting a bunch of women in one match, and Lacey's just there, but she'll walk away the winner. I mean, might as well just make for the Battle Royal, in my opinion.
It's crazy. I like Lacey Evans. To me, just as the longer it goes on, I'm baffled. I'm like, what is that? Whose idea was that? Who booked this?
You know, they've had terrible beaver cleavage. I mean, they've had bad gimmicks, you know, like.
Yeah, this is on that list.
Okay.
This is wrestle crap. Ronda Rousey cut an excellent promo from the terrible to the awesome. We'll go back to Triple H for some more terrible in a little bit.
That was fun, though. I mean, it was bad, but it was bad to watch, you know? Like.
All right, let's go to that first. We'll get to Ronda in a second.
Okay.
That was bad, man. What do you mean? Triple H and Batista. Triple H goes to the ring. He's like dressed for a street fight. He's wearing his leather jacket. He's got his hands taped. He's wearing jeans. He's not wearing his suit. It's street fight Triple H, right? Batista shows up with a big security team. Batista's like, these guys are here to protect me from you. I know how these things go down. You're just trying to ambush me. And Batista's like, we're going to do this on my terms. My terms. He goes bananas. He's like, Triple H, you know what I want. Triple H is like, you quit, and you're going to tear through the Guardians of the Independent Scene, and I'm going to beat you up, Batista. He was like saying all sorts of stuff, right? And Batista's like, I left WWE to get as far away from you as possible because I'm tired of you talking down to me and excluding me from things. You're mean to me, Triple H. You're treating me mean, and I don't like it, so I left. And then Triple H is like, you're a baby, come here, let me rub your belly, I'm gonna fight you now, And Batista's like, I want to wrestle at WrestleMania. And Triple H is like, but before that, Batista said, give me what I want like 100 times. Give me what I want. Give me what I want! What was that? And then Triple H is like, what? Triple H just kind of ignored him and started dissing him. And Batista's like, give me what I want! Give me what I want! And Triple H is like, you're gonna quit, you suck, And he's like, well, what do you want? And he's like, I want to wrestle you at WrestleMania! And Triple H is like, okay, cool. I'll do that. No problem. And Triple H is like, wait, one last thing. It's going to be no rules. Nothing is left. No holds barred. I was like, yeah, all right, fine. It was bad. It was over the top. It was ridiculous. They talked for way too long without getting anything accomplished.
Well, we got a match, right?
Oh, I guess so, but like Triple H didn't seem like he didn't want to wrestle Batista. Like Batista's like, give me what I want. Triple H is like, what do you want? He's like, match at WrestleMania. Triple H is like, cool, let's do that. Batista's like, all right, see ya. And that was it. Like, it was a very cordial exchange where both men got very upset. They both wanted the same thing, to wrestle each other at WrestleMania, but they were both very angry about it. It was weird.
Well, Triple H...
Batista went nuts.
Triple H makes sense because of what happened to Ric Flair. And Batista has a lot of resentment, so I feel it's all justified. It's just, it is a little over the top.
It was ridiculous. Give me what I want. Come on, man. People are going to be making fun of that for years. Batista thinks it was bad when people said Blue-tista. People are going to be just hounding him. In fact, I'm telling you, if you see Batista, just don't say anything. Just walk up to him and say, give me what I want. That's what I would do. Hey, Batista, give me what I want. Give me what I want. Yeah, Batista. Just cheer him on. That should be his new catchphrase. Give me what I want. It used to be deal with it, but now it's give me what I want. He should put that on a t-shirt. Give me what I want. That's going to haunt him forever.
Could be a good thing, though.
But he doesn't... Like, he should have embraced Blue-tista. He should have come out in, like, a blue Ron Simmons helmet and just said, yeah, I'm Blue-tista now. Could have made millions off that.
I feel at WrestleMania he is going to be dressed in blue.
You think?
I think so.
Just to mess with people?
Yeah, 100%.
I would bet that he won't because he's honestly... like insecure about the blue for some reason. He didn't like it. He quit when people called him Blue-tista. He did interviews complaining about the fans calling him Blue-tista and saying Boo-tista. He's like, I'm supposed to be a babyface and they're booing me. They're saying Boo-tista. What's their problem? How come these guys don't like me? Why is Triple H excluding me? This guy's a big baby. I hope Triple H beats his ass at WrestleMania. Pedigree. 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring. That's what's going to happen. And Batista will not be wearing blue. He'll wear black or red or gold or any other color but blue. Bet. You want to do another bet?
No.
Why? Because last time you lost and you're scared?
Exactly. Well, not scared, but I'm not doing another bet. Too bad. I already lost. I'm not doing another bet.
Gun shy. Johnny's scared.
Red is his traditional color, though.
Yeah.
And it is.
Well, you just said he's going to wear blue 100%.
I would like that, but
you said he was going to.
I hope he does.
Retract.
I'm not retracting.
Retract.
It's what I 100% want to see.
But you don't believe it's going to happen.
I believe it.
Well, then bet it's going to happen.
I'm not going to bet it, though.
Well, he's not going to wear blue because he doesn't.
He should.
He doesn't want people to make fun of him.
Nah, he's got to realize it's what's best for business.
He doesn't realize. He doesn't care either.
Well, he just wanted the match, right? He got what he wanted, so.
They gave him what he wants. Kurt Angle cut a promo. He says he's going to be having his farewell match at WrestleMania. This is the match for me.
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be John Cena more than likely, so.
That makes sense.
It's not going to be a great match. It's going to be sad, actually.
I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be pretty good.
Cena is a very sad act right now. He looks very slow and sluggish in that ring. Like, even running the ropes, John Cena, it's like, man, you got to stop wrestling. You're just not good anymore.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to be a long match.
Yeah, but it's sad because it's Kurt Angle's last match. You want it to be as good as it can possibly be. He's going to train like crazy, Kurt. He's going to try his best. And Cena, like, even Cena's best, it's not going to be that good.
I wish it could be AJ.
AJ or Kevin Owens, I think those would be ideal.
AJ makes way more sense. They have a long history.
Of course. And AJ could, the chemistry.
They wrestled each other so many times in TNA, had so many incredible matches. AJ could pull out another great match from Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. I would prefer that.
It's just Kevin Owens, we never saw it, so it's like, what would it be like, you know?
Yeah. It's still possible. We don't know who Kurt's going to wrestle. We don't know yet.
It's just because Cena posted on his Instagram picture of Angle, and
doesn't mean he's going to be the guy.
He wrestled Taker last time when he did that. He wrestled AJ when he did that.
We'll see. Kurt Angle beat Apollo Crews in Pittsburgh, Kurt's hometown. Kurt's last match in Pittsburgh. I was emotional watching it. The guy is a legend. A legend of legends. He is he's a Hall of Famer already, right? He's an Olympic gold medalist, the only Olympic gold medalist in the history of the wrestling business. In the history of WWE, at least. I mean, I don't think anybody else in pro wrestling's ever had one. As far as I know. Right?
Well, I just think of guys that...
I mean, maybe some old wrestling historians could correct me on that, but I don't think anybody else has had an Olympic gold medal in amateur wrestling and been a professional wrestler.
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Kurt's the only one.
Like, not to the level of a Kurt Angle, anyways. You know, maybe an Olympic gold medalist has dabbled, had a match or two, but not a big career.
Yeah, I think there's been some dabbling with other guys in the past, but yeah, Kurt was the highest, without question, I think.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, when you think about it week to week, guys you want to watch wrestle every week, Kurt in like the early 2000s, like late 99, like he was the guy to watch.
He was. He was one of the greatest I've ever seen in the ring.
It's just amazing. Like, he took to wrestling so quick. Like, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. And if you look at the body of work, all the matches that he's had, it's really impressive that he just came into it and was so good so quickly. Had so many good matches with so many high-level guys. You know, Austin, Rock, Rob Van Dam, Eddie Guerrero,
Jericho,
Mysterio, Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. An incredible match. He's done it all.
And The Undertaker.
He's had great matches with everybody. And, you know, I've always said Kurt Angle is, he's in my top 5 all-time greatest pro wrestlers. My favorite pro wrestlers. You know, Brett, Jericho, Angle, Mysterio. I don't know, somebody else. Kenny Omega. Daniel Bryan, you know.
AJ Styles, no?
I don't know. I'd put Daniel Bryan and I'd put Kurt Angle over AJ Styles.
Okay.
I'd put Kurt Angle over a lot of guys. Kurt Angle is one of the greatest ever. And he's had an amazing career, and it's time to end it, definitely. He's like 50-something years old. It makes sense, right?
He's about 50 now, yeah.
Is he 50? Yeah, he's just 50. And he's had a lot of injuries, a lot of neck problems. I'm happy he's going to have a final match at WrestleMania to end his career. A year after getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, he has a match at Mania for his retirement.
Well, I hope he enjoys it. He has the moment.
That's right. Kurt Angle is the man. Another Olympian in the WWE, Ronda Rousey, bronze medalist in judo. Also former UFC women's bantamweight champion. Ronda Rousey cutting a promo. She says, everyone in the crowd is a coward. She's going to humiliate Becky and Charlotte at WrestleMania. She's going to expose Becky, Charlotte, and the WWE for the, quote, carny con artists they've always been. Ronda says Becky and Charlotte are jokes, and anyone who believes in this charade is a joke, and drops the mic. Killer promo from Ronda. Then Dana Brooke came out and cut a very good promo, too. Says she's got nothing left to lose. She's never on TV. She's not going to let Ronda disrespect the WWE in the women's locker room or the universe. I thought it was a very good, passionate promo about wanting a shot at Ronda Rousey. And then, of course, she's like, give me a shot, Ronda. I want a title shot. Ronda just, boom, kicks her right in the gut, sends her flying, beats her up, pretty severely, slaps the hell out of a referee when the refs try and stop them. I mean, that slap was stiffsky. WWE saying that they have fined Ronda Rousey an undisclosed amount, which is, part of the storyline. Ronda goes to hit Becky with an armbar, and then she's like, no, I'm not even, or not Becky, Dana rather, with the armbar, and she's like, no, you got to pay me $60 for an armbar. You don't get to see it. And I'm like, wow, $60? So if I just give you $60 in the street, you'll show me the armbar? Or were you talking about buying a pay-per-view? I think she was talking about buying a pay-per-view. But she doesn't understand that the network is $9.99. How does she not know that? She really doesn't play the WWE system, She is a rebel. She doesn't even know how much the WWE network costs. Or maybe she expects people to still buy it on pay-per-view, which I think you can, but why would you when you could buy it for $10 and then have the network for a month? Doesn't really make sense, but it is still available on pay-per-view in some areas, which is odd. Why pay $60 for a show that you could get for $10? Anyways, so Ronda wants you to pay $60 because maybe she gets more money that way. Tremendous segment, though. Really good stuff from Ronda and Dana Brooke.
I just found the crowd wasn't very receptive towards Dana. It felt almost like they wanted Ronda to beat the crap out of her, and that they enjoyed it. So I feel like it didn't really work as well as they wanted it to. Maybe, but I felt it watching on TV. I felt for Dana Brooke. That was a good promo. It's just that I think a lot of people don't know who she is. That's the problem with Dana Brooke. Yeah, well, she's been around for a long time. You think people don't know who she is? She's not consistent enough on TV. Right. And is she a face or is she a heel? Well, she was a babyface there, right? I guess, yeah. There was some real emotion there. That was a real sentiment, real feelings, real stuff coming out in this, charade that Ronda Rousey calls pro wrestling. It's just the fans are so well trained, they realize, wow, this person's just coming out to get destroyed by Ronda, and yes, let's just see this. Well, I thought maybe they were going to have a match. Ronda just kicking her. I was like, oh, Ronda. I loved it. It was great because at the same time I was feeling for Dana. I was like, oh man, poor Dana. It does suck for Dana. She tries hard. She wants to be on TV. She's just not cutting the mustard. She's not getting the spot. She's not getting the opportunities. And then as soon as Ronda kicked her, I started laughing. I was like, oh, Ronda, that was awesome. I liked it. I liked both sides. I was just entertained. Good segment. Well, I think it helped show that Ronda's a true badass. That's without question. But I don't think you really needed to prove that. It was already proven. It's just... No, it proved that Ronda's not only a badass, but she's a bully. She's mean. Here's Dana Brooke spilling her guts. She just wants a title match, and Ronda's like, no title match. I'm just going to beat you up. I don't know if that's really a bully. The bully was more the slap. That was about it. That wasn't necessary. Ooh, she slapped that referee hard. He looked hurt. That was awesome. See, that was unnecessary. The Dana thing, Dana's coming at you. That's a fight, so you might as well get the jump on her. That made sense, but yeah, the slap was crossing the line. That offended you. Well, it's just, if you want to talk about being a bully, that's heel Ronda at work right there. Uh-huh. How about Braun Strowman feuding with Saturday Night Live guys? Terrible. That's his WrestleMania. That car thing was horrible. Poor Braun. That was awful. So Braun's being interviewed backstage because he had a run-in the week prior with Michael Shea and Colin Jost, who are on Saturday Night Live, a show I do not watch, obviously. Neither do I. Yeah, I don't know if anybody does, but it's still on the air. Braun says he doesn't care that there's special correspondents at WrestleMania. They better stay out of his way. So these guys are special correspondents at WrestleMania, which is... They're going to interview people during WrestleMania? Apparently. Oh, terrible. Yeah. So then a guy shows up and he tells Braun Strowman that he's got a car for him. And Braun's like, what car? I never ordered a car. So they go to the car and the guy's like, here's a note. And Braun's like, read it to me! And I'm like, wait a second. No one has ever given me a note for a gift, and I've been like, read it to me. I've been like, okay, here, let me read it. Can Braun not read? That was very odd. If somebody says, here's a car, here's a note,
that came with the car. Wouldn't you take that note and read it yourself? Not let the man who's holding the card, take it out and then demand that he read it to you? I thought that was a very odd thing for Braun to do, but of course Braun had to do that because he needed his hands free and because we needed to hear that the card was from Colin Jost because Colin was lifted up by Braun Strowman. He goozled him last week and he's scared of Braun, so he gave him a car as like a peace offering.
Yep.
Braun, of course, ripped the car apart and he says, "It's too small for me, bruh! Somebody's gonna get these hands! This car's too small! Read that note for me, I can't read! I'm a monster among men! Colin Jost, I'll see you at WrestleMania!" What was that, man? That was terrible. I feel bad for Braun Strowman. Last year, he's got a tag team with a child, and this year, he's feuding with two comedians that I don't even know. They're not even big-name comedians. Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't think they are.
It's no Will Ferrell, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's no Will Ferrell. This guy wasn't in Step Brothers. What movie's Colin Jost ever been in? Who's Colin Jost? You go see movies. You review them for Dave and Johnny Live. You're up on this stuff. Who's Colin Jost?
I don't watch SNL, though, so I've never seen him before.
Is that all he's on? He's not on other things? Come on, man. This guy's no Adam Sandler.
No David Spade, that's for sure.
This guy's no David Spade. And he sure ain't Norm Macdonald.
Rob Schneider, no.
This guy's the Weekend Update guy, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. Norm Macdonald destroys this guy. This guy should be ashamed. I'm going to cut a promo on him now. These guys, are they both Weekend Update? Is it co-anchors or one guy?
I'm not sure if it's both, but one of them is for sure.
Whatever. These guys should be ashamed of themselves. Trying to fill the shoes of the great Norm Macdonald. Great Canadian Norm Macdonald.
I like Colin Quinn.
One of the most hilarious dudes ever. I like Colin Quinn as well. And, was he on that? He was on that.
Yeah.
No, he's very good. Excellent. And who's the other guy? Kevin Nealon. Didn't he do Weekend Update?
I don't remember.
I like Kevin Nealon. But this Colin Jost and Michael Che. What is it?
I want to say Che.
It doesn't matter what his name is. Rudy Poo. Candy ass. I don't want to see this at WrestleMania. Why are these guys on TV?
Celebrities. We need celebrities to make WrestleMania seem bigger and better, right?
I want some celebrities. Where are the celebrities?
This is what...
this is all they can get?
This is all they get. Yeah.
This is the best they could do?
Well, apparently the Eminem deal didn't work out, apparently.
They tried to get Eminem?
Yeah, they couldn't get him, so...
So they're settling on Colin Jost?
Yep.
They couldn't get Norm Macdonald?
I don't know if they wanted Norm, unfortunately.
Oh, man. Norm Macdonald would be excellent.
He would. Adam Sandler would be amazing. I'd love to see Adam Sandler. He'll probably be there anyways.
Hey, you got your Roman Reigns there. That'd be fantastic. Seth Rollins. He's a good man. It'd be great. Norm Macdonald interviewing wrestlers backstage. Tremendous. That would be good. That would actually be funny. Remember when Kevin Hart was on commentary for one match? Tremendous. Couldn't get Kevin Hart back. He doesn't have a movie with The Rock to promote. Come on, step it up, WWE. It's WrestleMania season. I want some real celebrities. And what are they giving us for the host of WrestleMania? Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. She's not wrestling? Is she going to be in the Battle Royal?
Does it matter? Who cares?
Well, she's a former champion on both shows. She was one of the most decorated champions they had. They were pushing her as the Charlotte of Raw. And now she's just her gimmick is she's posing all sexy when she comes out. She's that's her gimmick now. She's flirting with dudes on the roster and being a sexy gimmick. That's her gimmick. She's like a Mandy Rose. She was the Charlotte of Raw, and now she's the Mandy Rose of Raw. Sucks. It's just a demotion, I think. Isn't it?
Okay, but look at who won last year in the Battle Royal. Naomi. And what did Naomi get for winning that? Nothing.
She's a May-Zin.
It's not impressive. I'm not impressed at all.
She's amazing.
She's
You
got
don't
nothing.
feel the glow?
Not really.
Oh, I feel the glow. Big time. Everywhere.
She had her time.
So much
Like
glow.
Alexa Bliss. And now Alexa Bliss still gets something for being the host. Man, New Day was terrible as the host last year, by the way. Or, 2 years ago, I guess now.
Who hosted last year then? Anybody?
I don't know if we had a host last year, but the hosts are usually horrible anyways. Remember when The Rock hosted?
That was all right. He had this thing with Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan. Did the New Day host last year?
2 years ago.
So
when the Hardys came.
Did anybody host last year?
I don't know if we had a host last year. But it just goes to show the hosts aren't that great. So
What do you need a host for? It's WrestleMania. We didn't always have a host.
it's just to give somebody on the roster who doesn't have anything something to do.
Yeah.
Elias could have pulled this off.
Elias could have been the host. I think Alexa will make a fine host. I just think that it would be good if she were also wrestling.
In a battle royal, just talking. I actually think talking is her stronger suit than being in a battle royal.
Well, we'll see. She's got a talk show on Raw. I think she's all right. Randy Orton and AJ Styles cut a tremendous promo on SmackDown this week. Randy talking about being the house that AJ Styles built. He's like, I've been here since 2002. AJ was wrestling for $10 a night. In 2004, AJ was shaking hands with opponents in bingo halls, talking about Ring of Honor, while I was here being the youngest heavyweight champion, beating Chris Benoit. In 2005, Randy says, AJ was in Florida getting a tan with Dixie Carter, dropping the DC. Oh, Dixie.
Not TNA, but pretty much.
You know, while Randy was in the WWE wrestling The Undertaker. Randy says this is the house that Randy Orton built.
It makes sense.
He's got a point. AJ Styles shows up. He says, Randy, you've been following my career pretty closely for a guy who looks down on indies, independent wrestlers, indie promotions. AJ says he's proud to be from the indies, where Randy couldn't survive, couldn't hack it in the indies. It's
Very
true.
true, yeah.
You're an indie wrestler.
Randy likes it safe. Indies are not safe.
Indies are not safe. Not safe enough for Randy. And AJ says you couldn't get away with just doing this, and he does the Randy Orton pose, making fun of his pose, and ripping off a diamond cutter. And then Randy's like, oh, so you and your little indie pals never stole anything? And he does the too sweet hand gesture that, the Bullet Club used that the NWO started, or Bret Hart started, that the NWO stole from Bret Hart, because everything was stolen from Bret Hart. If you believe Bret Hart, which I do, everything he says, I believe. I take Bret Hart's word. All right, let's not argue about whether Bret Hart invented the NWO hand sign. Let's just say that I saw him doing that thing before other people. Other people claim it was Sean Waltman who discovered that hand signal. I don't know.
Weren't they doing this in the 60s, that hand signal?
It's hard to say who invented the too sweet NWO gesture. Bret has claimed he invented it. X-Pac has claimed he invented it. Hulk Hogan probably claims he invented it. But we all know that it was the Berserker, actually. He came up with it. Little known fact, it was the Berserker. So Randy, makes fun of AJ, and then AJ is like, indie guys are all around the roster, and we fought to get here instead of taking a job by asking our dad, which is how Randy got his job. His dad, Bob Orton Sr. or Jr. was a WWE wrestler. His grandfather was a WWE wrestler or a pro wrestler. I don't think, maybe WWF, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that. That's it.
But, AJ and Randy's both saying some very true things, and I thought the promo was excellent. And it built the anticipation and the heat for their match at WrestleMania.
Well, on SmackDown, it wasn't official, but I guess now it's official. They've said it on their Twitter.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
It's official. And one more thing, we are running short on time here, Johnny. One more thing that is official is Harlem Heat going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, this is interesting. There were rumors that the Hart Foundation was going to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. I don't know how many tag teams they usually do. I thought Brett and Anvil would get in this year, but maybe not because they're doing Harlem Heat. I don't know what this means for the Hart Foundation, but Harlem Heat officially going into the WWE Hall of Fame, coming as a bit of a surprise. Booker T going in, now two-time Hall of Famer. He went in on his own, and now he's going to go in with his brother Stevie Ray as Harlem Heat. Don't disagree with the induction, though. They were an awesome tag team in WCW. I was a big fan of Harlem Heat. They were one of the top tag teams in the world at one time. They're famous. Everybody knows Harlem Heat. You know, if you're a wrestling fan, you're well aware of Booker T and Stevie Ray. They were tremendous. I don't know. Will Sherry get inducted too with them for a second time? Sensational Sherry. She was their manager. But it's very cool. I'm happy to see Harlem Heat going into the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm a bit surprised that, I don't know. I'm a bit surprised.
Colonel Parker as well was their manager as well. So
right. But wasn't that under a different gimmick?
No, like it was all the same kind of thing too. Like
weren't they like slaves at one point?
There was that part, and then later on, Sherry and Parker were going to get married, and they were both managing Harlem Heat.
Uh-huh.
But then there was a falling out, whatever, and then like I think only Parker got Harlem Heat afterwards, and the divorce, whatever.
And of course, Harlem Heat. They're from Texas.
But they'll be inducted in New York, so it makes sense. It's good.
Yeah, it makes sense. Oh, it makes a lot of sense. Kofi Kingston going for the WWE Championship. I would love to see him become WWE Champion. There has never been an African-American WWE Champion. There have been African-American World Heavyweight Champions, but never WWE Champions. That lineage goes pretty far back, and the fact that not one African-American has held the title is pretty shocking and pretty sad. So it would be very nice to see Kofi Kingston win that title at WrestleMania. At the same time, I'm a really big fan of what Daniel Bryan is doing with this title run, with this gimmick. And this is going to be the big discussion, I think, over the next 3 weeks. What should happen? What do you think should happen? Send us your tweets. At Dave Simon MMA on Twitter and Instagram. At North Genesis on Twitter. At Genesis Johnny North on Instagram. Who should win at WrestleMania? Not who's going to win. Who should win? This isn't a athletic contest. It's a decision that will be made by some people in the WWE. Who should they choose to win at WrestleMania? Daniel Bryan or Kofi Kingston? I want to hear from you over the next week. We got 3 weeks until WrestleMania, and we're going to figure this thing out. Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston is going to be an incredible match. That's one that I'm definitely looking forward to. Hopefully Kofi punches his ticket on SmackDown this week, and that will happen. And Brock Lesnar will also show up on Raw, apparently, this coming Monday, so we have that to look forward to. Johnny North, your next match, when can people see you in the ring?
And it's going to be not this Sunday, but the Sunday after, defending the British Commonwealth Championship against Sheldon Jean, 4325 Industrial Boulevard, Montreal. Bell time is 2 p.m.
WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. YouTube.com/RingsideReport.net. YouTube.com/RingsideReport.net. Dave and Johnny Live aired yesterday. Every Friday, we go live on YouTube around 12:30 on our YouTube channel, and all our shows available on that YouTube channel. You got Wrestling Uncensored, Ringside Report Radio, Dave and Johnny Live, What's Phantom in Japan. So much content on that YouTube channel, youtube.com/RingsideReport.net. Thanks to Jimmy and Marco for helping us out back at TSN 690, and a big thanks to you for listening. For Johnny North, I'm Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah.
Yeah.